Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show is live on Tuesday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Friday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is September 5th, 2017, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, authorities have recovered the body of a man who fell to his death while climbing in Wyoming's Wind River Range. Sublette County Sheriff's officials say 54-year-old Michael Sullivan of Durango, Colorado, fell at least 400 feet Monday evening in the Steeple Peak area. A woman climbing with him hiked out until she found a group with a satellite phone. K2 Radio reports darkness prevented rescuers from going to the area in a helicopter until Tuesday. Strong wind prevented them from landing a helicopter in the area until Wednesday, but officials say it was apparent Sullivan hadn't survived the fall. Officials say the two climbers made it up Steeple Peak and Sullivan lost his footing between rappels on the way back down.
From the Salt Lake Tribune, federal land managers said Friday they will allow drilling for publicly owned oil and gas near Dinosaur National Monument in northeastern Utah, despite concerns about disrupting the area. The Bureau of Land Management announced plans to offer drilling rights on about 145 square miles in a December online auction. The agency cited President Donald Trump's goal of increasing domestic energy production. In a news release, officials said energy companies would be required to take steps to protect air and water quality. Utah Republican Governor Gary Herbert had expressed concerns in July about drilling in the area, saying it could be disruptive for visitors to Dinosaur Monument, a 330 square mile expanse in Utah and Colorado. Herbert's spokeswoman, Kristen Rappelli, noted the federal government had deferred the sale of two parcels the governor was concerned about and placed restrictions on a third. The restrictions are designed to reduce light and noise pollution and limit visibility of drilling equipment from the monument. One of those parcels is adjacent to the monument and the others are within a half mile of it. It appears the BLM did a thorough job in balancing out the feedback that the governor shared, Rappelli said in an email to the Associated Press. The monument drew about 300,000 visitors last year. There is sure to be pushback from groups that are opposed to more oil and gas drilling in the western U.S.
Reported by the Durango Herald, officials who run a popular language and cultural immersion program in the North Woods of Minnesota are warning that potential changes in visa rules could make it hard for them to hire enough instructors. The Minnesota program's alert is part of a larger push by cultural exchange programs nationwide to draw attention to the possible impact of President Donald Trump's Buy American, Hire American executive order. Christine Schultz, executive director of Concordia Language Villages, wrote a letter this week urging alumni and other supporters around the country to contact their congressional representatives and ask them to ensure that international exchange programs are excluded from Trump's order. The Wall Street Journal reported this week that the Trump administration is considering major reductions in J-1 visas for cultural exchange programs as it implements the executive order. Trump signed the order in April on a trip to Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's aimed mainly at ensuring that highly skilled technology jobs go to Americans rather than foreigners with H-1B visas who work for less and strengthening Buy American requirements for government purchases. But it may ultimately affect other categories of workers too, such as foreign college students who take summer jobs in the U.S. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment Wednesday from the Associated Press. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders told the Wall Street Journal she had nothing to announce at this time.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, E7 Systems, a Durango company, installed a self-pour beer system with 55 taps at a restaurant called The Wall in Orange, California last week. This is a new emerging bar trend not meant to eliminate waiters and waitresses at The Wall, but free them up for other aspects of service. Alexei Carey, a founder with E7 Systems, said after providing a driver's license, customers receive wristbands that connect with the system used to track the amount they pour and generate a tab for servers. Customers can pour tasters for themselves and read about each beer on the digital display, eliminating the need for servers to explain drinks. E7 Systems was founded in Durango 15 years ago as a technology development company and built the system for a client. Other startups, such as Pour My Beer and I Pour It, are installing similar systems in the U.S. It could be a new niche for E7 Systems, which has designed solutions for many entrepreneurs over the years and has clients around the world. Founder Bill Smith recently moved to California, which has increased the company's access to talent and opportunities. The company built Functional Nutrition, an app designed to help dietitians track the diets of their clients, a social media network hybridized with a business directory, and software to match potential real estate buyers with the right agent based on personality, Smith said. The company has also developed video training sites, financial platforms for realtors, and e-commerce solutions, among many other projects. E7 Systems clients generally own the new technology, but in a number of cases, E7 Systems has been given a share of ownership in the enterprise that's been created. In addition to working with startups, the company also has built hardware, contracted with established companies, and developed some internal projects. For example, the company built Craps Trainer, a dice game app with a large following. The company employs 4 people full-time, works with about 12 subcontractors, and is hiring. Subcontractors are hired based on their ability to meet the needs of the clients, Carey said. For example, Ryan Finnegan with Carbon Form Design, another Durango-based company, helped design the self-pour beer system, and he will keep helping with future projects. Finnegan and Carey previously worked together in their spare time on a novelty performance robot that serves cocktails, although the beer system uses different systems. The company's next self-pour project will go in a water park and will dispense water, soda, wine, cold coffee, and other refreshments.
Reported by the Durango Herald, with a new school year dawning, education officials are grappling with whether to remove the names, images, and statues of Confederate figures from public schools, especially since some are now filled with students of color. The violence at a white nationalist rally over a Robert E. Lee statue in Charlottesville, Virginia, is giving school officials a new reason to reconsider whether it's appropriate for more than 100 schools to be named after Confederate generals and politicians from the Old South. It does not make sense to have schools named after individuals who were directly connected to that dark past, and force kids in Dallas, a minority population, to walk into these schools every day and have to face this past every single day, said Miguel Solis, former board president and current board member of the Dallas Independent School District. Dallas, along with other cities, began moving to change Confederate names and imagery after white nationalist and Confederate enthusiast Dylan Roof murdered 9 black churchgoers in Charleston, South Carolina, on June 17, 2015. But the reviews gained momentum after the August 12th protest by white supremacists in Charlottesville, which left 1 counter-protester dead. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, there are at least 109 public schools named after Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis, or other Confederate icons in the United States. Of those, 27 have student populations that are majority African American, and 10 have African American populations of over 90%, according to the SPLC's 2016 report. Several school names were changed or new schools were built and named after Confederates during the era of white resistance to equality, the SPLC report said. Solis said he has support for his effort to change school names in Dallas, but that's not to say that there haven't been people who have been very upset because they believe either the history needs to be preserved or they align the philosophy of the Confederacy or neo-Nazis, he said. The South has the majority of Confederate-named public schools in the country. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
High pressure will remain in control over the next several days, resulting in mostly sunny skies across our region, along with drier and warmer conditions. Some isolated storms are still possible each afternoon, mainly over the San Juans. The northerly flow around the area will allow smoke from wildfires in Montana to be transported southward over the area, resulting in hazy to smoky skies. A front moving down the plains/front range will help push this smoke further across the region on Tuesday. It is uncertain how long this haze and smoke will persist beyond that, but models are hinting at moisture increasing from the south late in the week, allowing for increasing chances of showers and storms, which will hopefully help clear the air. As Texas and Louisiana continue to deal with the aftermath of Harvey's waters, Hurricane Irma is now moving closer to the Caribbean. Tropical storm conditions are expected in the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico early Wednesday, with hurricane conditions arriving later that day. Destructive winds, storm surge, dangerous surf, heavy rainfall, and flash flooding are all possible. There is an increasing chance of seeing impacts from Irma in parts of Florida later this week. We'll know more Wednesday as this storm approaches the peninsula. In the southwest, the Central Ridge will be forced a bit east of the Rockies, which will lead to a 100-degree switch in upper winds for our region. So we will be more favorable for seeing those monsoonal source moistures, especially with the location of the Pacific low to our west. The Midwest is sitting above that low pressure moving up towards New England, which will continue to bring potential moisture from the mid-Atlantic up towards Maine over the next 24 hours. Once again, the localized 5-day outlook continues to remain in the upper 80s or higher in heat index feeling for the daytime temps and the mid-lower 50s or lower for the overnights. This afternoon, there may be some gusty winds appearing that may actually help in moving the smokiness out of our area. Towards the end of the week, Thursday into Friday, the possibility for storms may once again arrive, with chances of thunderstorms in the afternoons continuing into next week on some of the longer forecasts for our area. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, KSJD Radio plans to provide outdoor seating to guests at the Sunflower Theater in the near future, but those plans might not include installing a parklet on the street. In a Cortez City Council workshop on June 27th, KSJD's Executive Director Jeffrey Pope told council members he hoped to build a permanent outdoor seating area known as a parklet that would replace a few parking spaces outside the Sunflower Theater. On Friday, he said KSJD still hopes to serve food and alcohol to theatergoers on the sidewalk this fall, but the organization no longer has plans to build a parklet, although he added that could change tomorrow. He said he and his staff are exploring alternative options in response to feedback from neighboring businesses. The City Council voted on August 8th to pass an ordinance allowing businesses to apply for permits to serve alcohol in the street, as long as the area of service is enclosed by some kind of barrier, a rule that applies to sidewalks as well. A few Cortez business owners complained at that meeting about the proposed parklet, which would benefit from the ordinance, saying it would restrict parking for their customers on Main Street. We've fielded calls of concern from other business owners, and we're taking them into consideration, Pope said on Friday. He does still hope to provide outdoor dining in the near future, though. The theater has an easement from the city of Cortez that allows alcohol to be served on the sidewalk outside both theater entrances, but Pope said the station has never used it. He said the theater might start putting out temporary furniture and serving alcohol outdoors during shows as early as mid-September. Because the theater's easement extends only 6 feet in front of the building, Pope said he hopes to extend the sidewalk on Market Street to give guests more room to sit down without impeding foot traffic. KSJD might also apply for an extension of the easement. In April, the organization applied to participate in the city's sidewalk cost share program. According to the city website, the Public Works Department uses the program to provide 50% of the cost of repairing or adding new sidewalks in front of qualifying businesses and residences.
From Natural News, in just 3 years, you may be chomping down on a lab burger and putting gravy over a test tube chicken if a new venture company has anything to say about it. San Francisco, California-based startup Memphis Meats is intent on developing meat from stem cells. and they might just be successful thanks to the investment of various high-profile names and big-time companies in different industries. Microsoft Corporation co-founder William Gates III, Virgin Group founder Sir Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, and Wayzata, Minnesota-based global agricultural firm Cargill, Inc., all recently made large capital infusions into the firm. Other high-profile investors include entrepreneur and philanthropist Kimball Musk, who is the brother of business magnate and Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, or SpaceX, Chief Executive Officer CEO Elon Musk, former General Electric CEO John Francis or Jack Welch Jr., and live streaming video platform Twitch co-founder Kyle Vogt. Completing the investor lineup are London-based tech investment firm Atomico, San Francisco-based tech firm 50 Years, Los Angeles, California-based investment firm Inevitable Ventures, New York-based investment firm KBW Ventures, plant-based and cultured meat venture capital investment firm New Crop Capital, Princeton, New Jersey-based venture capital firm SOSV, and author Susie Welch. Memphis Meats had undergone a Series A venture capital funding round that was facilitated by Menlo Park, California-based venture capital firm Draper Fisher Jurvetson, or DFJ, where it was infused with a lot of cash to the tune of $17 million. Another venture capital funding round generated a total of $22 million in investments. Memphis Meats wants to introduce the world to animal-free products, such as hot dogs, burgers, and meatballs that are grown from beef cells within 3 to 4 years. Memphis Meats co-founder and CEO Dr. Uma Valeti said, "The world loves to eat meat, and it is core to many of our cultures and traditions. Meat demand is growing rapidly around the world. We want the world to keep eating what it loves. However, the way conventional meat is produced today creates challenges for the environment, animal welfare, and human health. These are problems that everyone wants to solve, and we can solve them by bringing this incredible group of partners under one tent. This group will help us accelerate our progress significantly," she added. The new firm plans on reinventing modern animal agriculture. It says that with the help of their high-tech processes, they aim to produce less than 90% of greenhouse gas emissions, need less nutrients, and do away with the practice of adding additives or antibiotics to their products. For instance, while generating 1 calorie from beef requires 23 calories in feed, they plan to make it so they can manufacture a calorie of meat from just 3 calories in feed. The new company is looking forward to quadrupling its current manpower and is currently working on getting more heads to staff the clean meat firm with the end goal of bringing down production costs. It will compete with other startups that have the same goals in mind, such as Redwood, California-based Impossible Foods, Inc., Dutch company Mosa Meat, and another San Francisco-based food startup, Hampton Creek. Memphis Meats was able to grow its first lab-made chicken earlier this year. Carolina Brochata, venture partner at Atomico, said they are optimistic that Memphis Meats is the one company that will be able to make its dream a reality, saying they are the ones closest to producing a different kind of meat, red meat duck chicken. Adding things like texture is very hard to do technically.
The Dolores County Sheriff's Office was called on Saturday, September 2nd at approximately 7:30 p.m. for an overdue group that had hiked down to the Dolores River from the Dolores Canyon Overlook. There were 2 adults and 7 children from the La Vida Mission in New Mexico in the group, with the children's ages ranging from 10 to 16 years old. Since the weather was expected to be clear and warm overnight, and the search was to be on very steep and rocky terrain, as well as it being after dark, it was determined safe enough for an overnight stay by the party unless the situation changed. With this knowledge, Sheriff Martin instructed an advisory message to the Dolores County Search and Rescue to be ready for a call-out Sunday morning. A helicopter was also put on standby for an early morning flyover with general coordinates given as a starting point. To prepare for the next morning's rescue, 2 members of Search and Rescue, along with Deputy Chris Pender, then drove to the overlook to meet with the other members of the missing's party and to attempt to spot any lights in the hopes of getting a better location fix to start from in the morning. After scrambling along the cliff edges for almost half a mile, cell phone contact was made with a member of the lost party. They reported they were okay except for one twisted ankle, but it was learned that due to being out of water, 4 juvenile members of the party drank water from the Dolores River when they got thirsty. The party was eventually located by flashes from the party's cell phones and some slightly hysterical screaming from one of the lost. A judgment call was made to bring the party to the rim in the dark because of the risk of giardia or cryptosporidium infection, as well as some of the children being panicked. Once a person is infected from drinking affected water, their health not only would affect their ability to climb, it could also create a dire medical situation. A first contact located the party approximately 600 feet below the rim of the overlook. A search and rescue member, along with a friend of the missing party, climbed down the rim with rope and met up with the group 300 feet below the rim. Another search and rescue member maintained the rope as an anchor personally to allow as much rope as possible for the group, while Deputy Pinder maintained radio communications and threw as much light downslope as possible. All 9 alternately climbed out and were lifted 7 separate pitches of 70 degrees or more by cell phone light to reach the shelf just below the rim. Water was dropped to them at the safest point before the last scramble over the top. All 7 members were safely on top of the rim at 12:30 a.m. early Sunday morning. Search Captain Kiesling stated that it was great teamwork that got everyone to the top in good shape outside of some scrapes, scratches, and a few bruises. The party was relayed up each pitch in groups of 2 or 3 based on stopping space. I think I climbed that last 300 feet 7 times. That was enough. And it wasn't really scary climbing in the dark. It was scary when I went back the next afternoon and climbed down in the daylight to get the flashlight I dropped, he said. The party followed up on Monday to thank everyone involved and to state that all members were fine and in good health after the search. Dolores County Search and Rescue will be holding its monthly meeting on September 12th at 7 p.m. in the Search and Rescue building on Gyrene next to the ambulance station. New members are encouraged, and the public is welcome to stop by and learn more about the search and the organization.
From the Durango Herald, Toast, a mobile lounge, started serving up drinks 3 years ago, and now its founder plans to license the concept. Carol Clark was inspired to build a pub box out of a 20-foot trailer after she organized Durango's annual Oktoberfest celebration, which is put on by San Juan Citizens Alliance, and noticed that vendors typically set up folding banquet tables and then drape them with a white linen cloth that tended to get covered in spilled beer and wine by the end of the night. It could be so much cooler, she recalled thinking at the time. The result was a trailer wrapped in barnwood and fitted with a bar, sound system, TV, and a solar panel system so it can run off the grid. Clark is one of 6 company founders who presented at a showcase Wednesday held by the Southwest Colorado Accelerator Program for Entrepreneurs, or SCAPE, for its recent graduates and for other local startup companies that have new ideas to pitch to investors. SCAPE is an intensive 6-month program that provides an equity investment and mentoring to entrepreneurs to help them develop a product, launch it, and find investors. It is supported by investors, local businesses, and the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade, Region 9, La Plata Economic Development Alliance, the City of Durango, and the Small Business Development Center. The program, founded in 2013, has launched 19 companies that employ more than 60 people. At Wednesday's showcase, the program invited investors and the public to hear pitches by local entrepreneurs. If any idea interests someone, they can choose to invest in the business. In its first year in business 3 years ago, Toast was booked for 12 events. This year, Clark expects to be booked for 42 events, ranging from weddings to retirement parties. She has been booked for events in Grand Junction, Denver, Salt Lake City, and Santa Fe. SCAPE helped Clark prepare to grow. She plans to have more company-owned lounges and license more mobile lounges across the state. She's working with several interested licensees and regularly gets similar inquiries. Clark will supply licenses with a mobile lounge and work with them on how to recruit customers and manage events. While there are similar businesses in Colorado, the market is not saturated, she said. The pricing for the mobile lounge varies based on the menu, the distance to the event, and other factors.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of August 28th through September 3rd. After the dispute over County Road 16 ended with the county commissioner stating that this road is a public road and will not be blocked from public access, officers removed the private road signs from the area. An officer assisted a town resident with a vehicle unlock. There was a report by a county resident of a break-in and theft of guns. The guns have been entered into the National Crime Information Center. This case is under investigation, and if you have any information about this incident, please contact the Dolores County Sheriff's Office. San Miguel County Sheriff's Office had received a call about an overdue hiker on El Diente in Dolores County and asked if an officer could locate the hiker to check welfare. The hiker was contacted via cell phone, and the hiker stated that he was on his way home. Please remember that if you are going out to enjoy the beautiful outdoors that this area has to offer, make a plan and always let someone, a contact person, know where you are going and when you plan to leave and return home. It is also helpful if this person knows of any medical conditions that you may have. This way, if something does happen, your contact person can be very helpful to the agencies enlisted to help locate you and bring you back home. A dog was reported missing from a county residence and was found by the animal control officer and reunited with its owner. A county resident reported an unattended 2-year-old had wandered into a field with their livestock. The child was returned to their neighbors. A town resident reported that a loose dog attacked and injured their dog and wouldn't leave their yard. Animal control was dispatched to the residence. A resident reported a vehicle speeding regularly on County Road 15. The owner provided a description of the vehicle for officers to be on the lookout. A resident reported trespass and theft off of their property. The case is under investigation. That's it for today's roundup. Stay tuned for continuing updates.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. Up in Moab, there's a garden dinner fundraiser for the Youth Garden Project with guest chef Ken Moody. What a great idea. From 6 to 9 p.m., enjoy a 4-course family-style meal inspired by Mediterranean cuisine and prepared by the owner of Moab Private Chef Ken Moody. Celebrate the finest and freshest ingredients grown on site at Youth Garden, along with other locally and regionally grown ingredients in this fine dining experience while surrounded by garden beauty. Tickets are $50 per person, and all proceeds support YGP's youth and community programs. Reservations are required, so make them online by September 6th by calling 435-259-2326, emailing kate@youthgardenproject.org, or submitting it online at youthgardenproject.org/garden dinner, and find more information online there too. Friday, September 8th, the lecture on orbiting supermassive black holes will run from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Sunflower Theater in Cortez. Go to sunflowertheater.org for all the details and tickets. Doctoral student Karishma Bansal has made international news for her first author article in the Astrophysical Journal regarding the groundbreaking discovery of orbiting black holes, one which could even help us see into the future of our very own galaxy. A $5 donation is suggested. Seating is limited, so please register online. September 10th, it's barrel racing, hosted by the Colorado Mountain Classic, starting at 9 a.m. at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds. Pre-enter at coloradomtnclassic.com. Added dollars get 60 runners, and they will add even more. No late fee or non-member fees. Enter until the last runner runs. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call us at the station 677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday, and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.